Okay, now we're just instructed to find the measure of either the arc or the angle indicated. So we have these polygons inside here. So when we have this trapezoid, this angle and this angle add up to a measure of 180 degrees. So if you know that those two, when you add them together, equal 180, you can just, and let's call this angle W. So the measure of angle W plus 117 degrees is equal to 180 degrees. Well, then we just subtract 117 from both sides, and we get the measure of angle W in degrees is equal to 63 degrees. That's it. Okay. Now on this one right here, this is an inscribed angle, which is exactly 1/2 the measure of the arc. Well, we know the angle, so this is 1/2 the measure of arc LN. In fact, I can put that there. So I can say this angle, 50 degrees, equals 1/2 of the measure of arc LN. Well, if I want to get this by itself, to cancel this multiplying fraction, I could multiply by the reciprocal. So remember, arcs can't be in degrees, but right now we have 100 degrees equals the measure of the arc. So we now have to convert 100 degrees times pi over 180. And then with your calculator, just do the fraction button. So that's what I'll do. Or you could do it manually. That's always good practice. So the measure of arc LN is 5 pi ninths. Because remember, the pi stays. All you're typing into your calculator is 100 fraction 180, which is 5 ninths. But you have to remember to put the pi in there too. Now, if it wants the approximate length, then you just type that in your calculator, 5 pi divided by 9, which is about 1.75 radians. And I just put RAD for radians in case you can't read that. Okay. So now, same thing here. We know that these opposite angles add up to 180. So the measure of angle K plus 121 is equal to 180. Subtract 121 from both sides, 121 degrees. Make sure you're doing that. And is that 59 degrees? I'm going to double check. 180, subtract 121. Yeah, 59 degrees. Okay, for 22. Find arc AB. Remember what we said. This measure right here, the measure of the angle is 1/2 of the arc. So if you multiply both sides, 2 times the size of this angle equals the arc. So that's what we're going to do. So 2 times the measure of the angle, the measure of 2 times the angle equals the measure of the arc. Whoa. Jump the gun there a bit. So when we do the distributive, 6x subtract 6 equals 4x plus 18. I'm going to look at the x's. 4 is smaller than 6, so I'll subtract 4x from both sides. That gives me 2x on this side. So I'm going to need to move the negative 6, and to zero it out, I do the opposite. I add 6. And then lastly, just divide both sides by 2. So x is equal to 12, but we have to put this into that measure right there. So the measure of arc AB is 4 times 12 plus 18. And just in case any of you make kind of mistakes in your brain, I would go ahead and type it in like that. And then I would put that as radians. All right. And I think, so this one right here, one more. Okay. So now we know that these two add up to 180, and we know that these two add up to 180. And in each set, one has an x, one has a y. But we can, well, if this set equals 180 and this set equals 180, then those two sets equal each other. So I'm going to start with this set. I can say 5x plus 22 plus 9y plus 11 is equal to 5x plus 20 plus 11y subtract 3. We're going to add these two things together. So I'm going to add the 22 and the 11. So 5x plus 9y plus 33 is equal to 5x plus 11y. 20 subtract 3 is 17. Okay, well, look at what also I notice. Those two can't, because if I subtract 5y from both sides, 5x from both sides, they would both cancel out. So now what I have is 9y plus 33 is equal to 11y plus 17. I'm going to subtract 9y. Now I'll subtract 17 both sides. So 16 is equal to 2y. Our y value should equal 8 if we divide both sides by 2. All right, so that gives us the y value. We have to find also x. So let's look up here and let's find I don't think it matters. Let's go back up here, and everywhere there's a y, let's put 8. So let's see what we got. I don't know that I'm going to love this because those 5x's are still going to cancel. So let's not do that. Yeah, let's just set one of the sets. So let's set 5x plus 22 plus 9y, and our y is 8, plus 11 equal to 180. And all of these are in degrees. All right. So, we only have an x left. So then you're going to add up all of this stuff. So we have 22 plus 9 times 8 plus 11, that's 105. And you're going to subtract 105 from both sides. So 5x is equal, looks like 75. And then divide both sides by 5. And then that x should equal 15. And then you could just double check. So here's the check. So 5 times 15, this just in your calculator, 22 plus 9 times 8 plus 11, hit enter, and you should see 180. And then also check the other one. 5 times 15 plus 20 plus 11 times 8, subtract 3, enter, and you should see 180. I'm going to check both. Okay, I typed them both in. They both equaled 180. All right, that is it for this week's videos.